What if I told you that some people pay up to $200,000 for the chance to hunt one of the largest, most intelligent land animals on Earth? In today's video, we're diving deep into the controversial world of African elephant hunting, a practice that's both fiercely debated and tightly regulated. You'll learn jaw-dropping facts about these gentle giants, like how their brains weigh over 5 kilograms, or that some bulls can reach 13 feet tall and weigh over 24,000 pounds. But beyond the shock factor, we'll explore how these hunts are handled, why they happen, and what happens after the hunt ends. Buckle up, this is going to be wild. Meet the African elephant, the heavyweight champion of the animal kingdom. These giants are the largest land animals on Earth, with the biggest bulls reaching a jaw-dropping 13 feet tall at the shoulder and weighing as much as 24,000 pounds. That's heavier than 2 school buses. Their ears alone can grow up to 5 feet long and double as built-in air conditioners, flapping to cool their blood. And don't even get us started on their trunks. Each one is packed with about 150,000 muscles, giving them enough power to lift nearly 3% of their body weight. Despite their size, African elephants are surprisingly light sleepers, snoozing just 2 hours a day, probably because they're too busy munching up to 600 pounds of food a day. Matriarchs lead their family groups, and when several families unite, they form close-knit communities. So why is the hunt for these amazing elephants going on? Believe it or not, some African countries like Tanzania, Zambia, Mozambique, Cameroon, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, and South Africa actually allow licensed elephant hunting through a regulated quota system. Sounds wild, right? But here's the thing. Going on a legal elephant hunt in Africa is actually one of the most expensive types of trophy hunting out there. The total cost can range from $50,000 to well over $150,000, and in some cases, even hit the $200,000 mark. Why so pricey? It all depends on the country, the outfitter, the length of the hunt, and especially the size and trophy quality of the elephant being targeted. These high fees often include permits, professional guides, trackers, lodging, and sometimes even charter flights. Interestingly, a significant portion of that money goes toward conservation programs and supporting local communities. So, while the price tag is jaw-dropping, it's meant to serve a bigger purpose beyond just the hunt. The revenue generated from hunting is reinvested in conservation efforts, community development, and anti-poaching programs. The idea is that by placing a value on elephants through sustainable hunting, local communities have an incentive to protect them and their habitats. Here's how a proper legal elephant hunt typically goes down. It's not just a walk into the wild with a rifle. First, the registered hunter connects with a licensed and reputable outfitter who organizes everything from permits to logistics. These outfitters provide an experienced team of professionals, including guides and trackers, who know the terrain and understand elephant behavior. They also supply powerful, specialized firearms suited for the job, because let's face it, elephants are incredibly tough animals and require serious stopping power. Once everything is set, the hunt begins with careful tracking. This isn't Hollywood-style chasing. It's slow, calculated work. The team looks for signs like fresh footprints, dung piles, and crushed vegetation clues that reveal the herd's recent path. They also use binoculars to scan the landscape from afar. keeping a safe distance to avoid alerting the elephants. It's all done with precision, patience, and strict adherence to legal and ethical standards. African elephants aren't just massive, they're also impressively sharp-eared and surprisingly feisty. These giants can pick up the faintest sounds, and when they sense danger, they don't always turn tail. In fact, they're known to mock charge or even full-on chase down what they perceive as threats, including humans. So during a hunt, if the elephants get spooked and decide to bolt in the opposite direction, that's actually a good sign. The real trouble starts when they do the opposite and come charging straight at you. Let's just say, no one wants to be on the wrong side of a 13-foot-tall, 13,000-pound tank with tusks and a temper. If that happens, you'd better run and fast, because facing off with an angry two-story building is not on anyone's bucket list. Even after the target elephant has been legally identified, no trigger gets pulled just yet, not even close. This is where the real skill and discipline kick in. The next crucial step is to follow the lead of the professional hunter. He'll help choose the perfect shooting position, one that takes into account visibility, cover, and, most importantly, wind direction, often checked by tossing a handful of dust or sand into the air. The goal? To get close enough for a clean, ethical shot while staying undetected. When the moment finally comes, those first shots must be precise and powerful enough to bring the elephant down quickly and humanely, minimizing suffering and showing the utmost respect for the animal. If the first shot doesn't bring the elephant down, a follow-up shot must be delivered quickly and accurately. There's no room for hesitation. A wounded elephant can be extremely dangerous, so if it flees, the hunting party must track it from a safe distance. Patience and precision become key as they wait for the right moment to carefully approach again. Only once they confirm the elephant is completely down and no longer suffering can they finally breathe a sigh of relief. The elephants selected for legal hunting are typically older, lone bulls that are past their prime breeding age. These individuals are often chosen because they no longer contribute significantly to the gene pool and in some cases may even become aggressive or disruptive to younger bulls or herds. Wildlife authorities carefully assess which elephants can be hunted under strict quotas to ensure sustainability. The goal is to minimize ecological impact while generating revenue for conservation and local communities. After a legal elephant hunt, the outcome is handled with care and respect. The ivory tusks often, the most valuable partar usually claimed by the hunter as a trophy, following strict regulations and documentation. But what many people don't realize is that the rest of the elephant doesn't go to waste. In fact, the meat is typically donated to nearby villages, schools, and local communities. It can feed hundreds of people and is seen as a valuable contribution. African elephant hunting is definitely a controversial topic, but in some places it's part of a bigger picture for managing wildlife populations and funding conservation. What do you think about it? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Can you smell it? That golden crust, the slow-simmered sauce, the creamy melted cheese. Pizza is more than food, it's memory. It's joy. It's home. Over 5 billion pizzas are eaten every year. That's nearly 160 pizzas every second. But behind that number lies an incredible process machines, humans, recipes, and rhythm. So, how do we go from a ball of dough to a perfect, frozen pizza ready to be baked at home? Let's go behind the scenes. That smell, warm crust, rich tomato, melting cheesite, pulls you in before the first bite. Hard to believe, but pizza was once considered poor man's food sold on the streets of Naples, Italy, until one day, Queen Margherita took a bite, and history changed forever. Today, pizza has become a global icon, with the 9th of February celebrated as World Pizza Day. With over 5 billion pizzas enjoyed each year and more than 1,000 unique varieties, pizza has become much more than food. It's comfort, creativity, and pure flavor in every bite. Now, let's take a look behind the scenes at how hundreds of thousands of pizzas are created every day inside a modern factory. It all begins with the dough. A massive industrial mixer blends flour, yeast, water, salt, and a dash of olive oil, enough to make over 10,000 pizzas in one batch. Next, the dough is divided into equal portions each, weighing around 200–250 grams, then gently shaped into smooth balls by automated rollers. These are your classic round pizza crusts in the making. But not all pizzas start round. Some factories roll the dough into wide, continuous sheets stretching meters long. A roller with sharp pins pokes tiny holes across the dough. These vents prevent air bubbles and give the crust that flat, crispy texture we all crave. Then comes the fun part: cutting the shapes. Giant molds press down onto the dough sheet to cut out a variety of crust styles. Round, oval, or even fancy braided edge crusts that look like art. Now it's time to bake. The raw crusts head into a multi-deck conveyor oven where they're baked at over 300 degrees Celsius, 572 degrees Fahrenheit, for a precise amount of time. Some factories bake more than 100 crusts per minute across multiple layers of the oven. After baking, each pizza crust is checked by hand. Experienced workers look for cracks, air bubbles, or uneven browning. The crust should be crisp yet tender, sturdy enough to hold toppings without sagging, while remaining light and airy inside for a satisfying bite. While the crusts cool, it's time to make the sauce. Most factories prepare their own secret blend of tomatoes, garlic, herbs, and spices. Then, the sauce is pumped into overhead machines that gently drizzle it in perfect spirals onto each base. No human hand touches it, yet the application is consistent, beautiful, and absolutely mouth-watering. Then, the pizza returns to the oven for a quick bake. This step helps the sauce bind to the base, letting its flavors soak gently into the warm crust. It's a short, intense heat, just enough to enhance the aroma and prepare the pizza for its next most delicious layers. Next comes the cheese-glorious, stretchy, golden cheese. Machines drop pre-measured amounts of shredded mozzarella, cheddar, or even smoked provolone onto each base. But in some factories, workers also hand-sprinkle cheese for specialty pizzas, ensuring the perfect melt every time. From here, the pizza base travels down a topping belt, passing through multiple topping stations. One machine drops slices of pepperoni perfectly spaced. Another sprinkles grilled chicken, each cube aligned with machine precision. Further along, stations add mushrooms, olives, bell peppers, jalapenos, or even pineapple depending on the recipe. Each station is synchronized to the second. A single pizza might receive up to 8 toppings in under 30 seconds. Fun fact: some factories process over 100 metric tons of toppings per week. Before packing, there's a final test. The taste panel. Yes, real people eat random pizzas fresh off the line every hour to taste test flavor, texture, and aroma. If a batch fails, production halts. It's serious business. The pizzas are flash frozen to lock in freshness. Each pizza is sealed in airtight plastic, sometimes placed on a cardboard disc to prevent bending. Labels with ingredients, nutritional info, and expiry dates are printed and applied automatically. Finally, the pizzas are boxed, loaded into cartons, and stacked onto pallets ready for shipment. Pizza isn't just food, it's a global language of comfort. From bustling streets in New York to quiet cafes in Tokyo, pizza brings people together. More than 5 billion pizzas are enjoyed every year because no matter where you are, a warm slice feels like home. Did you know that the global lobster market is worth over $6 billion a year? Or that a single lobster can sell for more than a luxury handbag in some countries? But behind every juicy lobster tail on your plate is a world you've probably never seen. Filled with underwater cages, late-night feedings, and incredibly skilled fishermen. In this video, we dive deep, literally, into the fascinating world of lobster farming and processing. Let's see how these ocean creatures are raised, cared for, harvested, and finally delivered fresh to your table. Get ready to have your mind blown about lobsters. Did you know these incredible creatures were once considered poor man's chicken, even fed to pigs and goats? And forget what you thought about their color. They're not naturally red. They can be green, yellow, or even a stunning blue, only turning that familiar crimson when cooked. Plus, they're quite the escape artists, able to swim both forward and backward, even scooting away in reverse when alarmed. Talk about surprising. These long-lived ocean dwellers can even reach up to 100 years old, sometimes growing to an astonishing 4 feet long. Lobster farming at sea? Oh yes, it's a real thing, and surprisingly popular in coastal areas where the waters are just right. In countries like Vietnam, Indonesia, and parts of Australia, you'll find bustling marine lobster farms, especially in sheltered bays with clean, warm waters. The two main styles of farming are pretty cool. You've got the classic wooden raft cages floating on the surface, and then there's the submersible net cages. Those hang below the surface like underwater apartments for lobsters to chill and grow. And let me tell you, picking the right baby lobsters is a big deal. Farmers carefully select strong, active young lobsters with no signs of disease or deformities, making sure there's a good mix of both sexes to boost growth and survival rates. Once chosen, these little clawed cuties are gently released into sea cages, either in floating wooden rafts or underwater net pens. Feeding lobsters is way more intense than you'd ever imagine. It's not just tossing in pellets and calling it a day. Lobster farmers go full-on seafood buffet mode. They prep hefty bags loaded with goodies like fish, snails, clams, mussels, even tiny crabs. Then hop onto their boat, heading out to the sea cages. But wait, before serving up the next seafood feast, there's cleanup duty to handle. Lobsters aren't exactly tidy eaters, so farmers have to clear out the leftovers from the previous meal. That means diving down and using their hands to scoop out and brush away the scattered shells of snails, clams, and other bits still hanging around in the cage. It's like underwater housekeeping. And while they're at it, farmers also take the time to check on the lobsters, observing their health, behavior, and making sure everything's okay. Once the cage is all clean and tidy, it's mealtime again. The farmers scatter those bags full of all kinds of tasty treats, and the hungry lobsters don't waste a second. They swarm in like little underwater beasts and dig in. Watching them eat is wild. They grab food with their powerful claws, crack it open, and munch away with surprising precision. It's like a crustacean buffet down there, messy, fierce, and oddly satisfying to witness. While the lobsters are busy feasting, the farmers check for any sick or dead lobsters and quickly remove them to prevent the rest of the gang from getting infected. Then they gather the unfortunate ones and release them into the ocean. Out there, fish and other creatures gladly accept the offering. Nothing goes to waste in this underwater ecosystem. Harvest day finally arrives. Lobsters are usually harvested once they've reached market size, typically around 0.3 to 0.5 kilograms each, depending on the target market. There are two main ways to do it. One, the farmers dive down with mesh bags, swimming through the sea like underwater treasure hunters, hand-picking the lobsters one by one. Or two, they haul the entire cage up onto the boat, hop inside, and gather the lobsters directly. Either way, it's a mix of hard work and excitement. Because hey, it's payday for all that underwater babysitting. When the lobsters finally make it back to shore, the work's still not over for our hard-working fishers. They've got to sort the lobsters by size and even by gender, carefully placing them into separate baskets. Then comes the weighing, super precise, because every kilo counts. Once that's done, they tie up the baskets securely with ropes and gently lower them into seawater tanks. Why? To keep the lobsters alive and kickin' all the way to the buyer. The most commonly farmed species are the ornate spiny lobster, scalloped spiny lobster, and sometimes painted spiny lobster. Different sizes, colors, growth rates, but all delicious and ready for their spotlight on the seafood stage. Ah, lobster, the superstar of the seafood world. You can grill it for that smoky, buttery flavor, steam it to keep all the sweet meat juicy and tender, or boil it the classic way with lemon and herbs. Feeling fancy? Try it baked with cheese and garlic, butter poached, or tossed into a luxurious lobster pasta or lobster bisque. Even a simple lobster roll can steal the show. Nutritionally, lobster is a winner too. It's low in fat, high in protein, and packed with good stuff like vitamin B12, selenium, zinc, and omega-3 fatty acids. So, have you ever tried lobster?